This is our Jolly Nigger Bank. Picked it up at a car boot sale, otherwise known as a flea market in America. Here in Ireland they're called car boot sales. And this thing is absolutely hilarious. Hands down the best conversation piece that we've ever had.
Not a YouTuber, just like making videos, and videos like being made by me. Okay, but we're going to go into the concept of Coonology. Now, over a year ago, I did a video called "I'm Not Going to Call Another Black Man a Coon" and so forth. And then after that, I kept my word by not using that word. But sometimes I'll use that word for the sake of the argument, which I'm going to do. So I'm going to use that word coon in this video. And in that video I stated how a lot of the the insults, the brickbats that we label to other black people, we ultimately, we got it from whites. The term coon, the term sambo, the term porch monkey or whatever, even the new terms that like beasties, got that from whites, calling black women beasties, where they called them she-beast, and we just chopped the she off there. But my thing is, if a black person cannot complain about being called a coon if he's turning around and using terms such as beasties and now chipping out. Yes, I'm talking about Tommy. I seen a video where he's referring to black people as chipping out, which that is a term white people use to describe our behavior, but he's mad that someone's calling him, or people keep calling him, a coon. That makes no sense. Same thing with David Carl. He says that we're misusing the term coon or whatever, but he turns around and he calls people shines. Now I understand these terms, coons, shines, or whatever. We get that from whites. Even the term Uncle Tom. Uncle Tom comes from a fictional character. There's some people so stupid they actually thought Uncle Tom was a real person, but he's a fictional character created by a white woman. By the name, I forgot her first name, but her last name was Stowe. It was a white woman who wrote the book Uncle Tom's Cabin. So this is interesting. Now, back in the days, a coon, buck dancer or whatever, was a black person that represented a stereotypical trope to mainly appease to an audience of white people. Now, even though they may have some black fans in a black gathering, you take Stepin Fetchit. Stepin Fetchit, at one time, he made more money than the President of the United States. Stepin Fetchit also was in more movies than Humphrey Bogart. And then you have Amos and Andy. You had the Amos and Andy sitcom that came on TV. Yeah, Amos and Andy started off as a radio show. Two white guys imitating, trying to imitate black people by talking, a certain way. And actually these two white guys actually took the idea from black people, so therefore those black people willing to represent and speak, this broken ebonics, like Iza Biza or whatever, to appeal to a white audience, but white people started and stole it from them. But then when it was time to since Amos and Amos and Andy was so popular that I'm like it got people laughing through the Great Depression. They made a sitcom, but in the sitcom they actually got black actors. So that's crazy. You got this Amos and Andy, this show, that just humiliates black people, and then you're able to get black actors to portray these characters when it was time to make a sitcom, which people don't know. You can look up Amos and Andy on YouTube and watch some of the episodes. But yeah, that's pretty crazy. Now that's definitely being as they would say, a coon. Now a coon now has become a black person. That's still a coon, but also a black person who, you know what I'm saying, wants to speak intelligent, that has berates and belittles black people and scrutinizes black people in behest of white people, even though I understand that they still may have a large number of black constituents. That's why I said that black people are the easiest people to criticize in the whole universe, because not only would you get white people and other races to agree with you, but you'll also get black people to agree with you. And that's the thing, is you know, downplaying racism and so forth, and tell the black man, oh, don't worry about white people, you have your own problems to deal with, and so forth. Now, one thing I respect about white people, I have to respect, is their love for their people. You know what I'm saying? I've never seen a group of people so in love with themselves than white people. And that's one of the main reasons why they downplay their racism when they say, well, not all white people are racist. When you talk about their atrocities towards humanity throughout history, white people will just sit up there and say, oh, other people do it too. Other people, you know, they kill each other too. So, therefore, you know what I'm saying, it's out of love. You know, the thing is, blacks tend to love white people more than they love black people. Sometimes I wish if black people, the so-called black man in America, would show this sort of love towards his own people, where he's willing to, you know what I'm saying that, well, black on black crime, hey, you know, other people, they kill each other too or whatever. White people got thugs in their community. You know, black people are forced to pay attention to the problems in the black community, even if they don't contribute to it, even though a lot of problems in the black community are American problems in society. You know, it's like if somebody's ignorant, oh, they're ignorant because they're black. They're poor because they're black and they're lazy, even though there's poor people all over the fucking world, you know, and so forth. Now, imagine if white people or America had this mentality. We know that America goes and snoops its nose in other people's affairs, foreign affairs. You know, about North Korea or Afghanistan or Kuwait or Saudi Arabia or places in Africa. You know, they sit there and they talk about what these dictators are doing, and you know what I'm saying, and all this, you know what I'm saying, about operations overseas, and criticizing how people are treating, you know what I'm saying, these ambassadors or presidentes or whatever you want to call them, are treating their other people, you know what I'm saying, getting involved in wars, military insurgent, you know, things of that nature. You know, talking about poverty over here, but here in America, 1 out of 5 people suffer from starvation. You know, there's a lot of poor homeless people here, displaced people here in America, but we'll worry about, let's gather up money to help the Cambodians out, they help, you know, they help the people in Nicaragua out and so forth, or let's help remove this evil dictator over here. But see, when black people criticize white man and the white man's America, we're forced to be like, hey, don't do that. You know what I mean? You have your own problems to contend with, black man. You know, and this is crazy. And you know, when you're dealing with the whole, you know what I'm saying, the criminality of black people, white people are also taking advantage of it. Let me pull out my Charles Stewart card, where Charles Stewart was a white man that went into a black neighborhood, killed his wife, and blamed black people. You know, and his story was very flimsy. I'm like, this dude, after he killed his wife, he went around and had a new female, walking around with a new female. And then, you know what I'm saying, he's getting manicures and pedicures and getting new cars. And not too many people question that. He just said, oh, well, you know, the black people, you know how wild they are. They're apes over there in their neighborhoods, and me and my wife was just passing through, and they shot my pregnant wife and shot me and so forth. I'm like, it's ridiculous. So to sit up there and try to exclude white people from black people's problems is simply not logical. And that's what the bootlickers, the coons, or whatever we want to call them. Now, one thing about the bootlickers, they claim that the pro-blacks don't do anything, that the pro-blacks will actually sanction deplorable black behavior. No. I don't consider myself a pro-black. I'm pro-logic. But a lot of stuff that the pro-blacks condemn, unwed pregnancies, begging the white man for table scraps, hair weave, black on black crime or whatever. You know what I'm saying? A lot of stuff the you know what I'm saying, the bootlickers condemn, the pro-blacks condemn. That's what I wanted to say. You know, but they'll put it off like the pro-blacks are only worried about the bootlickers and the pro-blacks haven't done anything. Matter of fact, in my city, there's a, you know what I'm saying, there's a convention every year called the Indiana Black Expo. I'm going to put the symbol out there, and their official symbol is the continent of Africa inside the state of Indiana. And every year is a bunch of black entrepreneurs getting together, trying to get their money up, making business connections or whatever, politicking or whatever. And it's a place where the public can go. White people and black people are invited, and they can go and they can buy, you know, they can learn about health, they can buy African jewelry, African books, all kind of pro-black books, pro-black DVDs and things of that nature. Don't sit up there and say the pro-blacks don't do anything. Matter of fact, it's the bootlickers that just don't do anything. Matter of fact, bootlickers don't make the history books. The most famous bootlicker of all is Uncle Tom, and he's a fictional character. But it's the thing is, it's the whole thing of speaking about black issues to a white audience. You know what I'm saying? And you're being disingenuous, because I look at it like this way. If an Mexican man wanted to talk about his Mexican people and Mexican politics and what he wanted to do for Mexicans in the future, how many people that are not Mexican will be, you know what I'm saying, interested in this conversation? Sure, there may be people that's curious that want to listen to what he said, but people who are not Mexican is not going to show much interest unless he wants to be a coconut, which a coconut is a term, it's basically a term for a sellout Mexican. Bash is Mexican people say, oh, stop jumping over the border. So with black people, if someone really, you know what I'm saying, someone's talking about black economics, how black people are going to do things for the future and so forth, it's not going to have much interest for people who are really not black. To gain white support, you gotta bash black people, and you know, and thing when stuff jumps off like Trayvon Martin or whatever, you gotta take all the focus away from whites and put it solely on black people. You have to use all this type of deflection tactics, which is black on black crime or whatever, and excuse whites or say, hey, don't worry about this, we have our own problems going on. Yes, I do know that a black person is more liable to be shot, stabbed, and killed by another black person or whatever, but that can go for any race. But there are a lot more society ills out there besides being killed or raped or beat up. There's other things such as, you know what I'm saying, taxes, government corruption, things of that nature, gentrification, that, you know what I'm saying, black people don't have the power, you know, to, you know what I'm saying, they don't have the power to be responsible for these actions. But I gotta keep my time short. Thanks for watching, and sally forth.